So now we can go on this stage. We want to duplicate this guy. This will be the tree main, and let's stop the render. And inside here, let's delete this, and let's just take from the tree the out main branches mesh. If this was the name, let me check on the tree. Oh, we didn't create a to null to output in this stage. So out main tree, and let's call this one out branches. So back on this stage, out main tree. And where is it? Why there's no mesh? Save to disk. For some reason I lost the reference to the project. I don't know, but anyway, here we have the mesh again. So back on the stage, here we target the main tree, and then let's go back to the viewport preview. Basically, I already have the tree main material with the texture applied, and now I will show you briefly what the cop for the tree is, and it really is nothing special. Just like before, I'm starting with a couple of noises, mixing them together until I have enough detail to have some, pleasant shader, always in a remap to clumpy value, and as before, 2 mono to RGB to create some base color, a roughness map, and as for the dirt, I'm also using some noise to drive some height value. And I did it in a way that for the height, I have some smoother noise, and I having the height frequency one just on the out normal. Saving just like before. And for the materials of the tree, I have 2 copies of the same material. The main one has the usual texture, the base color, the roughness, and the normal, and also the displacement, which is driven by the mask that we wrote on the main part of the trunk. So basically, if we take a render, Karma CPU, let's restart it. You can see that here we do have some displacement value, but then that mask, it will filter out the value on the branches and on the higher part of the trunk, because that will be too much if we use a full value. And the other material, the one for the branch, is the same copy without the displacement. As you can see, I didn't even delete the original nodes. So let me go on the Karma render node. We have something like this. We need to add the secondary branches. We created the material, but I created the material, but still didn't import it there. So let's duplicate this. Let's call it 3 branches. Inside, we want to take the branches. And let's go back here. We do have the whole structure of the tree. And the way we build the sweep of the tree within the meshing part, it makes this kind of texture works. So right now from the camera we do have something like this. I want to stop the render. I want to go into Houdini viewport, and let's enable the lightning. So basically I want to create a 3-point light setup. So this will be our key light, this one on the left. And let me enable this toggle. So I want to duplicate it. This will be our fill light, and I want to place it. Let me zoom out. So this is our camera. This is our key light. I want to place this other on the opposite side and rotate it. Also decrease the angle, and I want something like this, but decrease the intensity a little bit. Also, I place it further away from the stage, so if I go and watch through the camera, I unplugged for the moment the dome light, so I'm sure of the light source, and let's restart the render. And something like this is fine. Maybe decrease the width to 10 by 10, so it's a softer light. Finally, a rim light to highlight basically this whoops, where is it? This tree from the top and from behind, something like this. So let's duplicate the fill light. This will be rim light, and actually we can go look through light, lock it, and now we can move the light all together. So I want something like this. So if we go to the camera and let's disable the other two lights so we can see what this light is doing, restart the render. We want to increase the intensity to something 1002 because we want this sort of highlight on the tree. Maybe even a slight tint to it, something on the orange side. And let's give it 4 in width and 12 in height. So we'll have, so it projects this kind of shape, and we want to exclude the background from this light. I like it for the highlights over here, but I don't want this to enlighten the whole background. So basically we want to take a light mixer. No, not a light mixer, a light linker. So here we can say the rim light will not enlight the floor. And why the mesh 0 of the floor? So we do have something like this. Let's plug the other two lights back and also the dome light. So we do have something like this. Now we just need to merge the flowers in. For the flowers, we don't want to use the SOP create. Let's go back to the Houdini viewport, and here we want to take a sub layer. Here we will basically load the USD sequence, so the flower USD, this one. And let me re-enable the light, so this guy. And we want to use the point instancer of karma. So the stage, the incoming stage is everything else, and the flower will go on the right input. So we need to have something like this. And inside the point instancer, we need to specify the point cloud. So we want to take the flower PT we generated, and at the moment it has only 1,000 points, but let's see if it does work. And it does. We just need to increase the amount of points. So let's go back here on the tree. Sorry, not on the tree, on the flower. And on the scatter, I want to scatter 10,000 of those. So back here at the end, save to disk, and back on the stage, inside here, we want to reload the point cloud. So it is working. Maybe we want to randomize the p-scale a little bit. So very quickly in the point cloud, let's drop down a point wrangle to randomize the p-scale. So f at p-scale, fit 01 random on the pt num plus chi seed and we want to fit it between the minimum and the maximum. And there's a parenthesis which is too much, and so let's see, let's place the seed, set the minimum to, let's say, 0.08, the maximum to 0.12, so we have a little bit of variation in size. And also we want to take another point wrangle, we want to establish some change of value in the color, so we will call this call, and we will call the value, and we will just randomize the ptnum with some seed. So this is a 0, 1 value. And finally, another point wrangle to offset the animation of the instance. Right now they all start the same frame. So let's compute an integer attribute. We will call this offset, and we will fit 0, 1, the random ptnum multiplied some other seed between a minimum offset, so min offset, and a maximum offset. So something like this, and we want to cast it as an integer number. So we are moving by integer frame. So let's say that we will offset from minus 50 to 25. And outside, they all start the same because there's nothing telling to use the offset. So after the instancer, we want to take a retime instance. And let's rename this to flower east. And on the retime instance, we want to target all the primitive of the instancer, so slash flower east, and let's assign all the primitive inside, and we want to use the offset value we created outside. So as you can see, let's go on the material library. If we bypass this node, you can see that now we have an offset on the animation of the petal, and the p-scale is red by default. And I'm quickly switching to my final scene, so I will show you what all the rest is about, because it's very, very simple. Basically, I just created a bunch of material, 4 of them, one for the petal, one for the stem, for the crown, and for the center, all for the flowers. And they all are just a flat tint, as you can see. The center and this outer crown share the same material. Then there's the yellow one for the lines, a green one for the stem, and the only one that is using a texture is this petal. I will quickly show you the cop for it. And as you can see, I worked on a single petal with a smaller resolution this time. Even 1024, I believe it's too much. Maybe 2056 would be more than enough in this case. But basically, I use this style pattern to generate a few lines here. Distorted with the classic distort by slope, added a bunch of noise, and then I basically filtered out on the black side, the top, and the bottom. And I created a color layer like this and blended with this other base, which is basically just another bunch of noise multiplied together with some ramping, and everything is being blended together. I also added something like this, which basically takes the border of the petal, because if you recall it, here we do have basically a square UV. So what is this border on the side here is all the contour node of the petal. And I didn't even generated a normal map. For this one is just roughness and base color. And I believe it's more than enough for the scale of the object in this case. And the only other thing is actually I added the small animation on the camera. I'm basically moving only the focal length and the focus distance to have some depth of field in the end, and then raise it to 0. One final notice I want to make, whenever you render with CPU and XPU, if you're dealing with EXR, you're dealing with AOV, it's totally fine. You can recover the uh, color profile without problem. But I wanted to write as PNG, and I honestly couldn't find a way to embed the color profile on the image. Let me quickly take one of my output. So this is my render. And basically, I think, at least, that the problem is that here, where you can output a color space, I don't have the actual color space used here in Houdini, which in my case is the Aces 1.0. I should have the profile here. I don't have it. I don't know why. But the workaround for this I found is that if you render out the sequence as it is without color space, it will come like this when you write it. So it's washed out. And to recover, you just want to create a small copnet, import the file that you have on disk. So let me take it. Where is this? The sequence should be this one. And as you can see, it's already been converted correctly. When you want to save it, you do a raw image output, just like when you save the texture, you drag the copnet right here, you write the output name, and here you want to set, because by default it's like this. You want to change this menu to bake to open color IO display view. And here I have the actual Aces 1.0, which Houdini is using. So by re-rendering this sequence, you will be able to recover the color profile. Or if you know a better method, because I'm pretty sure this is not the intended way, just let me know. And this concludes this whole series of tutorial. I hope you found it useful. As usual, if you did, drop a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. And I will try to participate with this series in the side effects tutorial contest. I'm not sure how the voting works, but if you will be able to vote it, it will be much appreciated. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers.